They heard us talking shit. That's
They heard
why.
us complaining.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Black Girl Charmed, a charmed rewatch podcast with that's two black girls. Um,
I can only count to 4.
I am your journalism major, Ray, joined by my co-host.
I feel like Piper in this episode, just so stressed out because people don't fucking listen. That's how I feel.
So, what's on your report? What have you been enjoying this week?
We did finish Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah. Are we doing a spoiler?
No, we'll give it a week.
Ain't it been a week?
No, season 10 came out last week.
Yeah. And this
Okay,
episode
I
is
see what you
coming
mean, but
out.
when? All right, so spoiler. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The daughter did it. And you
Yeah,
were
I said,
right.
yeah. Candy's daughter did it. And you know what?
That makes
Riley
perfect sense.
Wood.
To get your hands off my mama.
She asked no questions. She picked up the first thing she saw. Wata? Oh, it was daddy? Which means he deserved it.
100%. I didn't like the ending though.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I'm the reason why you went to early labor. Get out of my face, bro.
Because y'all stressed me out. Because remember, Jax eviscerated her on the stand. That's stressor number one. Stressor number
Shouldn't have
two,
been a hoe.
you pressed me at my house. I told your husband that I would do this by myself. And not only did you embarrass me on public record, you killed my baby. And Simpson Street, Hulu, whomsoever. You see what I just did there? Please give me a job.
I think if he had did the picture for the obituary, this wouldn't have been an issue. He was like, "You want my face on that obituary picture?" Absolutely not.
All right, so I'm gonna tell a story, and again, this is why Simpson Street, Hulu, Onyx, Carrie, Larry, whomever should hire me. I literally dealt with this when I worked for DTLR. You know this story, but the people don't. A customer called me because her baby had passed away and she was trying to get her baby father's signature, and he told her to come on his lunch break. So when she did come on his lunch break, the manager who he was fucking was like, "You can't come in the store. You can't come in the store." And then the manager called her mama, and they tried to jump that poor girl who was just trying to get a signature so she could bury her dead baby.
I must have
And she
blocked this
was,
out because this is wild.
and you called me, the person who schedules the photo shoots, to tell me that you need help.
But what were you supposed to do?
Hopefully that manager got fired, because how dare you? You called your mama to beat
But Jax
up.
ain't do all of that.
I know.
Jack
But you
was like, "Can
see,
you act right because you're a whore?" And you didn't even give us like time to even file divorce papers before you started backshotting not only my man but one of his friends. Like, what is wrong with you? Whore?
but when you cross-examined me, did you already know about the affair?
What's Jax gonna do for money? Now that she quit.
I mean, Lewis got woot woot.
Well, they did say something about promotion. You go ahead, girl. You be that stay-at-home mom. Other
before
than
y'all
that,
before y'all come at me, I understand that woot woot is a Lawrence thing, but Lawrence Lewis, same Negro, different Afro.
you're ridiculous. I'm also starting to rewatch season 2 of Abbott Elementary, and I'm trying to get I'm redoing what started as putting together 2 tables, which triggered my mommy arthritis in my right hand. has turned into me reorganizing my entire office, which it looks a lot cuter and a lot more open space. So I do like it. But you guys excuse the book mess in the background as I try to figure out my life. Other than that, that's it. I want to get a nice little gaming computer. I'm thinking of also getting a mini PC so I can play like my cozy games in the office and not have to. I mean, this is such a first world problem, but not have to take my gaming laptop from upstairs to downstairs.
But you're poor.
I'm poor right now.
You're poor. You hear this shit? I'm poor. Shut up.
I'm poor because I have adult money and I spend it on adult things. How are you? How was your week?
My week is good. I finished A Pity Party is Still a Party.
That's good.
It's a humorous, lighthearted approach to getting comfortable with your emotions, as well as, hey man, nobody's perfect.
Do you
Really?
feel more comfortable with your emotions now?
Yes, hi Panther, you're tickling me. Um, I do to an extent. There are things that I do need to work on, like the tizzy is tizzying, and some things are like trauma induced, so I understand where that comes in, and I can work on that. But some things are just the tizzy, and we need to figure that out as well. And with the insurance I have, they're not paying for that. So
Understood.
to the
Understood.
library I go. Um, it literally went from me watching nothing to me watching everything. So I started Matlock.
You did. Do you like it?
I'm hooked because Kathy Bates, hello. Very rarely go wrong with Kathy Bates.
Are
But
you
then
hooked because it's Kathy Bates or are you hooked because it's a good show?
it is a good show and there's a twist.
Aha. A twist.
And because there's a twist and there's only 2 episodes out, I will not spoil it. But yeah,
Don't
I'm
spoil
loving
it.
it. Jason Ritter is divorcing a black woman, the vice principal from Black Lightning. You wasn't paying attention to her anyway.
Not at all.
um,
Now you got me
uh,
looking. But we don't have a
I
producer.
I know. Uh, I watched Sicario and Sicario 2. Both written by Taylor Sheridan, our Yellowstone,
Oh, I didn't like her. She can get divorced. That's fine.
So Amazon describes part 1 as bleak, but I literally cannot believe how many times Emily Blunt got her ass kicked in this movie. And she likes it rough. She does. Between this movie and Edge of Tomorrow, Emily Blunt, you like to be beat up. You like it rough. And my kind of girl. I don't understand why you judging me. Have you never seen Edge of Tomorrow?
No.
Yeah, she likes to like get jacked and beat on people and get beat up herself. And
I'm
it's
not a big
awesome.
Emily Blunt fan.
All right, we're moving on because we're not going to have this fight on the air. I watched part 2. And even though it doesn't have the same kick, no pun intended, as part 1, my love for Benicio del Toro,
Nobody likes Mohale.
whatever. I love him so much. Like even when I learned that he was farting up a storm on The Usual Suspects, I was like, you know what? Maybe farting, but that's a dirty, rough man, and I like dirty, rough men.
You just don't. His acting don't do it for me. His looks don't
Anyway,
do it for me.
on another list of your icks, I finished Fight Night, and I don't want to hear it. The supporting cast is where it's at. It's highly recommended. If you have Peacock, enjoy
There ain't gonna
it.
be no season 2, so that's
I mean,
allegedly.
there's really no more that you can do based on how it ended. Also,
Oh,
it's
okay.
based on a true story, and nobody wants to see Kevin Hart play a pastor. I finished Kevin Can Fuck Himself. Only 2 seasons, 16 episodes. Get out of my face, Panther. And he climbs up. I like it. If you could do it, yeah, it's 16 episodes. You could do it. It's
I
fine.
could do it. It's on my list. My list. It's on my list.
And I've started Rivals. It's an adaptation of a 1988 Julie Cooper novel starring, once again from Black Lightning, Nafisa Williams, the lesbian daughter.
But it's also starring my boo, and so that is high up
And
on
they
my
are
list.
hunching.
I heard.
They are, oh.
It's on my list.
Yeah, I started
What's it on?
It's on Disney Plus or Hulu.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I got that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's good. It's 80s, because obviously in the 88 novel.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if there was a HBO Dynasty, this is what the show would be. Yeah, that kind of rich high society, but make it like England. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that is it for me into this fuck ass episode. We are on season 4, episode 11, Trial by Magic. The original air date is January 24th, 2002. I was about to say 24, whatever. The writer this week is Michael Gleason. Thankfully, this is his last writing appearance, and we first met him in season 2, episode 14, Pardon My Past. You should know what that episode is. When they go back in time and Phoebe's evil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that episode. A little bit, I think. I feel like I tell you, and you tell me later. I looked at the reviews, and you didn't give it a high review, but I feel like it warmed my soul a little bit. I think we had like some issues with it, but
and surprise, surprise, I have issues with this episode. The director this week is Scott Laughlin. 2 directorial credits, including 7 Days, a 3-season show about an ex-CIA agent who's the point man for a governmental organization dedicated to time traveling to correct errors occurred in the previous week. And I feel like this was like a Saturday show. A Saturday Fox, NBC,
like
or
a VIP. Is that what it's called? Okay.
Either a VIP or if it's on NBC, like in the Profiler.
Was it Profiler Thursday nights though?
Nah, it went to Saturdays. Yeah, remember Thursdays were their comedy nights.
Yeah.
All right. The guest stars this week. Glenn's whack ass is back.
I don't like him.
I think we have him one more time, just one more, and
I was so hoping that like that thing kind of squeezed and popped his head off. Oh no, Glenn is dead. I am so sad.
Peter Siragusa as juror, 62 acting credits including Ned and Stacy and Entourage. Patrick Fischler as the foreman, 141 acting credits including Mad Men and Once Upon a Time. And he always plays like a smarmy weasel or like the little guy because he just gets pushed around by the guy with the cigar. You supposed to be the foreman. Put your chest up. What the fuck you scared for?
What was he in? Like he was in something. I mean, I don't ever like his characters, but he was in something.
He has 141 credits, and this is not season 1 where I gave you guys 14 credits each.
But he was in something where I was like, was he in Xena? No, that's Chuck. He wasn't in Xena. You said he was in Suits, right?
No, I said Mad Men, but you probably never watched.
I've never watched Mad Men. I couldn't get through the first episode. I was bored. Sorry, guys. My tastes are all over the place, and Mad Men just did not hit it.
I mean,
it could have also been just the energy that I was giving off when I started watching it too. You know.
I work in ads and marketing, so of course I loved it.
Right.
And at one point I actually was Don fucking Draper drinking with clients and then coming up with copy like, oh, you want to sell this waterlogged MacBook? All right, sure. I'll say, let's see. He has been in. You don't watch Barry. I don't think you watched American Gigolo. You definitely didn't watch The Rookie. You don't watch 911.
I did watch some of The Rookie.
Did you watch Happy? Okay, let's see. Damn. I know you're okay. He definitely was in Once Upon a Time, but I don't think you would.
What's his name?
Patrick Fischler. Fischler.
He was in something that's faces.
He's
He
also
has
in
gray
Suits.
hair now. See, okay, I knew he was in Suits. I hated him in Suits. He's a dick in Suits.
He's a dick. He either plays like a dick because he plays a dick in Mad Men.
Oh, he's in Grimm. Grimm is on my list to watch. I keep saying that. I feel like I say that like every time, like, oh, they're in Grimm. I have to watch this. And then the gray hair is very nice in him.
Anyway, Cleo King as Tanya, 97 acting credits, including Shameless and The Hangover. Bart McCarthy as Rat Demon, 69 acting credits, including Shameless and Adam Ruins Everything.
Rat Demon.
Prosha as the head Rat Demon, 84 acting credits, including The Resident and Suits.
Nice.
Yep. The trivia this week. This is the last time Leo will use memory dust.
He was so upset. Oh, my poor baby. He was so upset. He was like, I put that past behind me. I don't do these things anymore. I'm a married man.
The spell they used to call the spirit of Angela is the same one they used in Pre-Witch with the cat demon. The cat who had to like shed 9 lives. Yeah. Shadow? Piper is able to use her powers to make a criminal confess his crime, despite Prue not being able to in Ex Libris. There is no music in this episode. They did Prue so fucking dirty, so I don't even want to address the fact that, you know what? They scared of Pipers. They don't let her do whatever. She got 1 foot out the fucking magical door. So you know what? If you want to do a little something, go right ahead. The IMDb synopsis is, while on jury service, Phoebe has a vision that reveals that the defendant is innocent of murder as she tries to stall the trial. The rest of the charmed ones must try to find the real killer before a sentence is passed. And that is not how the American judicial system works. Please. The DVD synopsis is, Phoebe must convince the other jury members of the existence of magic, while Piper, Paige, and Leo frantically search for the real killer in time to free an innocent man. The Black Girl Charm synopsis. The Hallowell household magic-free day takes an unexpected turn when Paige's best friend and part-time fuck buddy, Glenn, returns to town. She invites him to stay at the manor. Piper does not like this, obviously. Glenn becomes suspicious of Piper and Phoebe when he discovers wicked items in the fridge, and thus the manor. Paige tries to explain, but, she casts a spell, leading to chaotic, elastic events. Meanwhile, Phoebe has jury duty and receives a premonition revealing the defendant's innocence. She must prove his innocence before the other jury members reach a guilty verdict / kick her out for being, cuckoo bananas. Piper gets the real killer to confess, but our demon of the week uses Glenn as collateral to get the confession tape. By the end of the episode, Phoebe gets her innocent off death row, and they save Glenn and allow him to keep his memories. I have notes. Let's see, I didn't count them. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. 9. There we go.
All right, so you got notes, so I will follow your lead, my lady.
This episode is an unhealthy marriage of seasons 1, Power of 2, and seasons 2, Ex Libris. And because I know the writer wrote Ex Libris, he copied off his own paper. It gives me Power of 2 with Piper and Paige just being at each other's necks. But even, it's more Paige. And Paige, any goodwill that she got last episode is
completely
immediately
gone.
It's gone. She is so fucking annoying in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And leads me to my second point. Paige, You're back to being annoying. You no longer live alone. You have to consider the other people in the house. At no point when you were like, sure, Glenn, you can stay here, did you think, hey, demons be coming up here every fucking night. My first night in a house, the demon tried to come after me. Maybe my friend shouldn't stay here.
When they were having the argument about Glenn staying there, and she told Piper,
I pay rent too.
I pay rent. Piper goes, no, you don't. How are you talking about?
There ain't no rent here. It's mortgage. It's a figure of speech. All right.
I think what I understand, I initially had some sort of goodwill for her coming
Mm-hmm.
out of the last episode, moving into this, understanding that she lost her parents. She did not have sisters to grow up with. So it's different when, oh yeah, I can shun my friends, which I mean they didn't really have too many friends, but I can shun my friends because I have my sisters. And she didn't really have that. She had Glenn. She had Glenn growing up since kindergarten, blah, blah, blah.
Fair.
But when they explain to you why it's not about Glenn, Glenn seems to be a nice fellow. You want to poke and, and have him run away. That's totally fine. But it's the fact that you're not only putting our secret in danger, but you're also putting Glenn's life in danger. And she was just like, deal with it. And then to consistently bring up every time they use magic, or we're going to show magic, like they weren't trying to save an innocent, like they were not trying to make sure that this man did not end up on death row. And she always had some quirky ass, oh, well, you can do magic here. Oh, you can do magic.
The goodwill I had for her extended into this episode, and even in the beginning of the episode, in the cold open wall, because she's making herself her cup of coffee, and then Phoebe's like, well, I'm late, bitch, give me your cup, and then takes everything out of her hand and makes herself the cup. I was even on your side then, because Phoebe, how fucking dare you? There's like 45 million mugs in this house. Why would you take the mug out of her hand?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had me there. And then Glenn knocks on the door, which is like, why? You guys had to have had this conversation, because why would he come here immediately? Or matter of fact, no. You gave him a change. You sent him like an email and was just like, "Hey, this is where I live now," because they have that kind of relationship. Like, you don't even have to
She
ask.
definitely was like, you can come here, bouquets. It's fine.
Um, but I know it's later on in there. Let me see. Bitch, you know what Piper meant when she said lock all the doors.
She had Piper's left eye twitching, and I felt her.
It wasn't even 30 seconds later that you turned around. Like, I know that, we're West Indian, when capitalism isn't beating us over the fucking head and inflation ain't got us, scratching and surviving, we tend to have a fully stocked fridge and know what's in our fridge just in case, somebody come over. I don't want nobody to come over and my fridge be empty and they say I got nothing to feed them.
Right.
Right. But you know what's in your fridge. Like, you are going to work and it's not okay. One, I don't know. I mean, while I understand that a lot of magical ingredients can be refrigerated, I just believe that magical ingredients should have their own refrigerator.
Oh yeah, they definitely would have had their own refrigerator. You can tell me y'all couldn't get a mini fridge for this stuff and keep it in the attic?
Because, like, you know what's in your fridge. Like, you were just in that bad boy making yourself breakfast. You probably, like, moved the pig's feet out of the way to get the milk. So, girl, again, you don't live by yourself.
Right. Do you have a note about Glenn?
Glenn, you're not this cute to be this annoying.
I know this isn't necessarily about Glenn, and it's more about the writers. But when she was trying to explain magic to him and that, they just weren't really weird and that they were born witches, and she says something to the
You've been
effect
to
of like,
Africa?
and his response,
Those are old men.
those are like old. I was like, it bred like, You know the Scooby Doo meme that goes around with the voodoo guy.
Yeah.
That is what I thought in my head. That is the impression that Glenn was given. Like, they don't know what they're doing because they're old Africans. They don't got no shoes. Like, and I probably read way too much into it, but I was so irritated.
I feel, and I was actually with Glenn to a point in this episode because yes, if I if I find like pig's feet and rabbit's blood, all kind of like voodoo shit in somebody's fridge, and you ain't never been into this shit before, as your friend from kindergarten, I too would have some questions. I too would go on up like, all right, they all like, I got at least 4 hours until Paige comes back from lunch. Let me see what I can find and get the fuck up out of this house. I will meet her at social services and be like, we need to talk. That makes, Glenn's storyline to that point makes a total sense. But to your point, the immediate dismissal of it, like, even if it's like old men in Africa, like, women witches are a thing in America. Like,
But we've also saw that Paige from the past
had an altar in her room.
Had an altar in her room.
So at some point,
she was interested in it.
Yeah. Granted, there's a lot more. The Book of Shadows is just a Wiccan burn book and how to really get you. I mean, because there's not conveniently there are like, oh, here's like a memory wiping spell, or here's to go back in time. In this episode, destruct your imagination spell.
Mm-hmm.
But there's significantly a lot more. This demon is a fugly bastard. When you come up against him, this is how you kick his ass. Here are the ingredients to melt his flesh. There is like 80% demon killing spells, and the 20% is like, I guess, love, imagination, vision. So I guess like the imagination spell will be like the spell they use for Thistle and they also use the dust or whatever. But all I can think about when he like stretched like his arm to pinch Paige's ass is that man was masturbating a lot in people's house. Disgusting.
Did you think that?
Because he would definitely be like, I wonder what else I can stretch. He's a guy.
He's a guy. I really was hoping. I don't like his character, and I was really hoping he would die. But maybe next week.
I like this episode better, but improve his solving crimes.
I like solving crimes.
Yeah, but it was at Phoebe's behest, not Prue being like, I see you, black man, and I will heal your pain. I like it fell into that same vein because there was like the shady businessman, and instead of and once again a woman is killed because of a shady businessman.
I just feel like some of these deaths could be avoided if you just mind your business.
I mean, Stan said, don't say nothing about no money laundering. Don't tell nobody. Mind your fucking business,
mind your
bitch.
Business. You don't know what you're getting into. Just mind. Sometimes you just gotta like. I could understand if like a kid was getting murdered or something like that. Totally understand. Money laundering? That screams mafia to me. Mind my business. Look the other way. I'm not even asking for a cut because that's how you get caught. It's mind my business. Is my paycheck on time every week? Am I getting paid? I don't give a damn. Just certain things, just mind your business. I'm not trying to die.
Just a club magician? Like you wasn't a hotel lobby psychic? You whack ass bitch. Just a club magician? Because Piper was fucking right. He said he got a premonition, and the bitch who gets premonitions is like, He ain't no real fucking witch. Fuck him. He's just a club magician.
Because the world revolves around Phoebe. She is one of the best witches to ever witch this way. And how dare you say that a club magician also has, she don't have no active powers. We go right back to this, right? So the one power that she do have, the fact that just the club magician has it.
This how you gonna do Phoebe? This how you gonna do me? Yo. And that's why, like, when Piper was like, oh, and you didn't believe him? I know, Piper. I feel bad as it is, alright? Shut up. Okay. That's why you guys need to help me expose magic. So I can, get my guilt off of my chest.
Oh, so we can expose magic for the innocents, but we can't expose magic to my on again, off again, sometimes possibly boyfriend?
We'll rolls right into my next one. Now you're worried about exposure? You're not a cute brat, Paige. You're not. You know, once was enough. Twice was too much. 3 times?
It kept going on and on.
You lucky I had to watch this for this episode, because if this was TNT or E, I would have changed the channel by the second one. Girl. Although, the fact that every time you want to get your way, you use improve. You would feel different if you lost a sister.
For this one, I'm going to understand. Because, and it could only have come from Piper. Because if Phoebe had said that, I'd have been like, you're the reason why Prue not here. But the fact that it was Piper and then Piper died and all of that happened, I'm going to give her that. I'm going to give her that. If Phoebe had said it, I'd be like, ma'am. Ma'am.
It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth either way. Because either you explain to Paige what happened and why she really had to attend Prue's funeral. I don't know why that's like a tongue twister. But, or you guys never really explained exposure to Paige. And either way, I don't like it, because if you did explain to Paige and she's still throwing this, so y'all aren't worried about exposure shit, it's distasteful as fuck. And I'm not even giving you that first one. If y'all didn't, like I said last week, I thought y'all bitches learned.
Just, Piper is like me. I am tolerating this heifer because I need the power of 3.
She tolerating both these heifers at this point. She is. Because even though that's my last point, fitting with Julio. Do you pay bills? Do you go shopping? Do you go grocery shopping?
Where he said that, and they had the conversation on the fact that Cole was sent through law school, I said, I know she's going to have a point. I'm not going to text her about it. I know she's going to have a point. Because she's been saying this for 2 seasons now. I know she's going to have a point on this.
And, like, why I say Piper was tolerating both of them is because she said it, and then Phoebe looked at her like, don't start your shit. Don't start. Water under the bridge. And that's when Phoebe was like, all right, we cool. All right. You're not coming at my neck. Remember the demon that we dealt with that was fucking up the stock market? The demons paid for Cole's college. I don't even think they really, I mean, they probably did pay for his college just because some things need to be, factually accurate. You can't really glamour that.
I think he's a demon and he probably cheated and got a scholarship.
No, this is just my overactive brain. Certain things, including lawyers, need a financial paper trail. And he needs to be able to, he can't Phoebe it and, write a spell.
I think undergrad he had to pay for, but I definitely think that his LSATs was quite high and he had some sort of scholarship.
I mean, of course, he has been a demon for over 100 years. He was there when they were coming up with the laws. This is second knowledge to him.
So Do white lighters just are they just maintenance? Like, are they literally maintenance men? Like, was that Eric Jerome Dickey maintenance men? Like, are they literally? Because the fact that the other side knows that they do what they need to do to blend in to the world, why y'all not doing that as well? They had a whole
You don't like
setup for the end of the world.
you telling me y'all don't have no good guy charity? You don't have no good guy organization that can provide them with paperwork? Of all the angels y'all have created / come across, nobody thought of giving y'all a cover on Earth. So these white lighters
Memory
don't.
dust. That was the best that they came up with. Memory dust.
It's so annoying because evil
And I wish
does
they called
this.
it something else.
Right? Evil actually joins our world and intertwines with it in order to do their bidding. And the belief is the angels, the good guys, are just sitting on their asses and thinking that everything's okay. Like, the charm ones got it. There's no reason for us to get to know the real world. Everybody's just going to let a homeless handyman enter their home. Like, whatever. There's no, like, there's no other circumstance that a person can become a white lighter. You have to either become uh an office manager, see homegirl from Blinded by the White Lighter, or a hobo like white lighter, well, a hobo handyman.
Speaking of, you telling me none of the neighbors called the cops when their front door blew up again? I'd have been like, do. Yes, this is me again. I don't know what's going on with those girls. Ever since their grandmother died, I just feel like monthly their door keeps blowing out, and I'm concerned. I have children. I have a dog. I don't know what's going on over there. Please make sure you keep this anonymous too. Thanks.
I
You
just,
see, nobody walked over there with like a basket of sugar or some cookies, being mad nosy. Like, what is going
no,
on?
you know why? Because I don't want what's happening over there to happen over here, so I'm gonna mind my business.
That's
All
why
right.
I'd have called the cops, and then I would have called you. Like, girl, it happened again. I think they drug dealers. I think they're in with the cartel.
I said this about Scandal. It was like, yo, if I was Olivia Pope's neighbors, get the fuck out this building. Like
I'll call the HOA for a vote.
the only show that has ever tackled this correctly is Sex in the City. When Samantha let the mugger into the apartment, and they were like, "We know it's you. We know you let him into the apartment. You have men in this building at all hours of the night. You should be ashamed of yourself." And they made it really uncomfortable for her to be there.
I'm just saying, look how tight those houses are. You telling me nobody called and got Daryl and was like, I just have to be anonymous, but I'm just so concerned for those girls. I just don't know what's and that man that goes in there, I don't think he has a job.
I will
I
say
think he's the
this.
cause of it all.
I will say this. Given that down the block from this house is the house from Thriller, them neighbors is minding their fucking business. Okay.
See, but Thriller is in its own universe, right? These
Mm-hmm.
girls are getting thrown up on a wall on a nightly basis, on a weekly basis.
No,
That grandfather clock gets shattered all the goddamn time. You telling me nobody has not even a note like, "Hey, can you keep it down? My kids got school in the morning." Like,
no, not every night because sometimes they take the fight to the demons
you
and
right,
they
you right.
and then come home either limping, covered in some goo, sometimes covered in blood, and I don't know. They might be drug dealers because they be leaving the house with little bottles.
That's why you couldn't do Charmed, because you know somebody be on TikTok like, look at my neighbor. It'd be a 30-part series.
My neighbors are alcoholics. They always leave the house with bottles like this. Like, goddamn, bitch. Y'all be having like 6 bottles each. What are y'all doing? You work at a club. You selling poppers at the club?
Mm.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Other than that, I miss Cole. I did not miss him. I didn't miss Cole. I missed Balthazar.
Yeah, you did. My last note, which technically isn't the last note, I just jumped to the one so I could drag Leo. We are 11 episodes in. Can we stop playing catch up? I'm tired. We
What do you
this
mean by
is
playing catch up?
I feel like Paige was asking a lot of season 1 questions in this episode, not just the whole so you can do this, you can do that. She was asking some season 1 shit and acting very season 1-ish. And God, if this is a 22 episode season, we are at the halfway point and we're still catching up. It's really annoying. I don't have any tweaks to make to this episode because it went the only way it really could go.
Yeah.
Although, shouldn't it have been Leo and Phoebe to give the tape, and Piper and Paige going to deal with the den of demons?
I didn't like either of it, so. And what Phoebe gonna do? Phoebe ain't got no exit powers.
Oh, like if trouble starts, Leo can orb me right out of there. We already know the minute you get scared, you orbin, so you don't need Leo. I don't know what fur just went up my nose, but I promise you guys I'm not doing coke. Every time I feel like I've been like hitting my nose a lot. Like, oh no, it's just fur. One of these damn cats. Don't give me that face.
I mean, I wasn't thinking it, but now that you said it.
All
Like,
right.
oh no, officer, I didn't stab her in the back 25 times right between her shoulder blades. I did like, the one thing I really did like about the episode is the fact that both bad guys weren't necessarily caught. They were defeated by a bigger bad guy. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Even though he's like the rat demon and Phoebe's like, can we call him another name? I liked him. He was like, oh, you snitching? Get him, boys. Sick 'em.
Yeah, I liked it. He was like, no, 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 no. Then the eating part though was kind of gross.
I did like when Piper first sees the rat, she screams, Leo goes, you could deal with demons but can't deal with rats. And when it happens again, she uses it with Paige.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
that callback, oh,
It was
all
good.
right.
It was good.
That was a good one. I do like that Paige at the end of the episode was like, hey, if y'all feel more comfortable dusting Glenn, then by all means, dust him. And
I do what the fuck I want. I don't need your permission. That's how I felt. I don't need your permission. Just like you ain't need my permission to move him in here, I don't need your permission to dust
you see
him.
how
That's my
quickly he
man.
left? You see how
That's
quickly
my
he
man.
I would have never went back to that damn house. Drop me off at Jose's. What other friend you got? Drop my shit there. I'm not going back to the Halliwell Manor. Goodbye. Good
And I would
fucking.
never talk to her again, ever. You put my life in danger. You ain't even warn me. I'm good.
You want to stretch your imagination? All right. Whatever. Who cares?
The B plot just sucked. It just sucked. I just feel like I don't like him enough as much as a character to care that he had gotten captured. And the fact he got captured was all Paige's fault. So it goes right back into me not liking Paige.
I think, honestly, Glenn, I think he has 3 episodes. Glenn needed, um, Glenn needed to be in he needs to be introduced in either Charmed Again Part 1 or Charmed Again Part 2, but it feels like Charmed Again Part 2 would be the better place to stick him in, simply be like it needed to be a phone call or something. Like
I think if they put
instead
him
of
in
call
Paige from the past, which if that's been your friend since kindergarten,
mm-hmm. You
that
would
would have
do
been.
that instead of Michelle Miglis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying he needed to be introduced before A Night to Remember. Because
Yeah.
I feel like if we saw him in A Page from the Past and saw him again in this episode, it would have been too close and too cheesy. We would have expected like a full arc from them,
Mm-hmm.
but him showing up before like A Page from the Past, instead of her calling the aunt, she calls Glenn. And it's like, hey, remember that church that our parents used to take us to or whatever? If y'all been friends from kindergarten, I'm assuming that y'all go to the same church, if anything. Outside of that, I don't. Yeah, there's no real tweaks. This wasn't the only way it could go. Phoebe's part of the whole thing. I don't know. It felt flat. I like her handing it off to Piper is when I started really caring about the plot. But Phoebe's like motives didn't. Oh, it's that time of the month. Oh, does anybody have a plunger? I don't know. Phoebe just felt really flat in this
Yeah.
episode. For the to be the person that the plot centers around, you don't anchor it. You have Piper do it. And somebody in our comments said, like, it becomes Piper's story. It's no longer the sister story, it's Piper's story. And you see it here. Like, this is the episode where it's definitely highlighted. Like, yeah, Hell Hath No Fury deals with Piper's grief or whatever. But this is where it's like, oh, I can't do it. Hand it off to Piper, and Piper picks it up. I feel like it's the same thing that they would have handed it off to Prue, and it would have been her like making it her mission to like save the day or whatever. And, I don't know. It's just a thought. Honestly, a little bit more of the rat demon. Not gonna lie, he was a really. We've had a bunch of shitty demons this season, and the Rat King demon and the Rat demon were.
I mean, I didn't like them either. So.
I mean, as far as villains go, they better than the Shocker demon.
I mean, but when the bar is that low, I mean, you just kind of gotta step over
Yeah.
it, step on it.
With that said, I am giving this mm, 4 Macy's 2-piece outfits because I did like Phoebe's outfit during like the courtroom stuff. Not the outfit that she wore when she showed up to that black lady's house looking like she skinned a sheep, a rabbit, and a wolf. I don't know what the fuck that was. But her in the in the juror's room, that was a cute ass outfit. Like Phoebe, you be dressing sometimes, and I like that. So yeah, 4 Macy's outfits because I feel like that's definitely in between like the junior miss and like adult miss, like right there. They right there.
I'm gonna give it 4 murdered ex-wives. I like the fact that she popped up and was like, "Oh, my ex-husband ain't do that," because she
In
could
fact,
have,
he
as an
warned me.
ex-wife, right? I feel like as an ex-wife, she could have been like, "Nah, that motherfucker did it," you know. So I'm gonna give it that. I'm gonna give it that. Other than that, it was this season is just as it's not as corny as season one, but it's very
Season 1 reminiscent.
very hard to wade through.
They're finding their legs,
All over
and
again.
it's not fun to watch. Um, um, Next week's episode is the Firestarter episode.
Mm-hmm.
I watched some of it already because you know how Peacock just rolls into it. And I gotta say, not a fan already. It's
Aye, aye, aye.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was watching this shitty ass episode and I couldn't change the channel, so I was forced to watch this other episode against my will.
Yep. That's why you gotta give it a break. You gotta give it a break.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, I will see what happens there. I'm trying to think. Is there anything to promote? No. Visit your local library. I did some cute pumpkin painting last week. Yes, Friday, and it was fun and healing. And there's always something to do at your local library. Um, yeah, that's it for me. What about you, friend?
Early voting has begun, depending on your state that you're in. So go vote. Save our democracy.
Um, yeah, that's it for me. Like this episode was so, um,
Yeah. We've had
like
worse, but we've had
we
better.
had, yeah, look, I had a nice set of notes, and we less than an hour in. If this was a good episode, we definitely would have.
Yeah. I think we touched on everything.
We did. It's just so exhausting to do a bad episode. So I feel like, this episode didn't give us a lot to work with, even though it did give us a lot to work with. And
But
thus
not in a
far,
good way.
yeah, and I don't really think our listeners deserve that. But that's just me being a creator. Some would just be hoes, I guess. I'm tired.
Oh, and some hoes be sleepy witches.
What does it be?
It must be.